Jingle Bells. It's me, Angela, and here's Missy to read you a story. What have we got, Missy? Oh, we've got Little Miss Naughty. Sometimes Missy is Little Miss Naughty, aren't you? This is Little Miss Naughty. Can you see her? Let's see what made Little Miss Naughty so naughty. Look, here are all the little misses. Little Miss Naughty. Are you ever naughty? Sometimes, I bet you are. Well, Little Miss Naughty was naughty all the time. Look at her, she's so mischievous. She awoke one Sunday morning and looked out of the window. Looks like a nice day, she thought to herself. And then she grinned like this. Looks like a nice day for being naughty, she said. And she rubbed her hands like this. Oh, who's this? Do you know? Yeah, that's right. Mr. Uppity. That Sunday, Mr. Uppity was out for his morning stroll. Do you know what a stroll is? Yeah, it's like a nice walk in the park. Little Miss Naughty knocked his hat off his head. Boing! And then she jumped on it. Oh, that's so naughty. My hat, cried Mr. Uppity. Do you think he's going to be very happy about that? Well, that afternoon, Mr. Clever was sitting in his garden reading a book. There he is in his deck chair outside. And do you know what that little Miss Naughty did? Do you know what she did? She broke his glasses. My glasses! Cried Mr. Clever. That wasn't very nice. It was very, what was it? Yes, that's right, Stardust. It was very naughty. Oh, that evening, Mr. Bump was just standing there, minding his own business. And guess what Little Miss Naughty did? She ran off with all of his bandages. Normally he has those wrapped around him, doesn't he? And she took them away. Ooh, poor Mr. Bump. And then you know what she did with the bandages? She bandaged up Mr. Small. Oh no! He cried. Well, it's difficult to say anything when you're bandaged up like that. Mr. Uppity and Mr. Clever and Mr. Bump and Mr. Small were very, 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 very cross. They were very cross, weren't they, Missy? Yes. Very, 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 very cross indeed. You'd be cross if Little Miss Naughty did that to you too. Is that a tasty hand? Oh, what a wonderful Sunday. Giggled Little Miss Naughty as she walked along. And it isn't even bedtime yet. I think she's got some more plans of being naughty. You're never naughty like this, are you, kids? No. What's going on here? First thing on Monday morning, the Mr. Men had a meeting. Something has to be done, announced Mr. Uppity, who managed to straighten out his hat. They all looked at Mr. Clever, who was wearing his spare pair of glasses. "You're the cleverest," they said. "What's to be done about little Miss Naughty?" Mr. Clever thought. And then he cleared his throat and spoke. "I have no idea," he said. "I have." Was that you, Missy? No, it was Mr. Small. "I know what that naughty little lady needs," he went on. "And I know who can do it," he added. "What?" asked Mr. Uppity. "Who?" asked Mr. Clever. "Aha!" chuckled Mr. Small, and he went off to see a friend of his. Somebody who could do impossible things. Somebody who could do impossible things like making himself invisible. I wonder who that could be. Well, who's this? That Monday, Mr. Nosy was asleep under the tree. Little Miss Naughty crept towards him with a pot of paint in one hand and a paintbrush in the other, and a rather large grin on her face. She was going to paint the end of his nose. What colour? Yes, red, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Right, Missy? But just as she was about to do the dreadful deed, something happened. Tweak! Somebody tweaked her nose. Ah! Somebody she couldn't see tweaked her nose. Somebody invisible. I wonder who. Ouch! Cried little Miss Naughty. And dropping the paint and the paintbrush, she ran away as fast as her little legs would carry her. Ooh, I wonder who's tweaking her nose. Do you know? On Tuesday, Mr. Busy was rushing along as usual. Little Miss Naughty, standing by the side of the road, stuck out her foot. She was going to trip him up, head over heels, and heels over head. What do you think happens? Yep, that's right. But before she did, something happened. Tweak! The invisible nose tweaker had struck again, and it hurt. Ouch! Cried little Miss Naughty, and she ran away even faster than her little legs would carry her. On Wednesday, Mr. Happy was at home watching television. Outside, little Miss Naughty picked up a stone. She was about to throw the stone and break his window. Naughty girl. Not you, Missy, you're not naughty. No, you're a good girl. But as she brought back her arm to throw, guess what? That's right. Tweak! Ouch! Cried little Miss Naughty as she ran off, holding her nose. And so it went on all day Thursday, tweak, all day Friday, tweak, tweak, all day Saturday, tweak, 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 tweak. By which time little Miss Naughty's nose was bright red. Can you see it? Red nose. But by Sunday, she was cured. No naughtiness at all, thanks to the invisible nose tweaker. On Sunday evening, Mr. Small went round to see him. Impossible. Mr. Small smiled. Thank you for helping me to cure little Miss Naughty. Can you see Mr. Impossible? My pleasure, laughed Mr. Impossible. But it did take all week. Mr. Small grinned. Don't you mean it took all tweak? Why can't you see Mr. Impossible? Because he's invisible. The end. So, remember, if you're thinking about doing something naughty, which sometimes Missy is, aren't you? Mr. Impossible might come round to see you and tweak your nose. Did you enjoy the story? Good. So, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from little Missy. Little Missy Naughty. She's not that naughty, but she is sometimes. Like everybody. Ooh. Night night. Bye bye. Gonna have to turn the video off now. Do you know how to turn it off, Missy?